We're going to achieve in terms of the interests, especially for the benefits of the Honduran people. I'm just going to speak 30 seconds. This is a main project of the statute. This is the project for which it was born free, due to the letter that was destroyed on June 28, 2009. The project of making a new constitution and a new constitutional assembly, National Assembly. All the states in the world are established, even in the United States, with the constitutional assembly. This is part of the national dialogue that is called Social Pact. This is the main social project of liberty, freedom. So today we're going to make a constitutional for a single party. Right now, the conditions that we have talked about and we have dialogued about, especially the presidency of Mara and with the other sectors, there is not an environment for a single constitutional assembly for now. There is not an atmosphere, the right atmosphere. So we'll have to wait many years so that this consensus of the society would allow us to carry a constitutional assembly. When was the last National Assembly in Honduras? In 1980, when they established and then the military ruled. That's what the last Constitutional Assembly was written 40 years ago. How about the last one before that? In 1965, there was a National Constitutional Assembly. And prior to that, in 1957. And prior to that, in 1933. We've had 16, 17 constitutional assemblies because it rebuilds the essential tissue because it is a social pact. This is not unilateral. I repeat this, fully aware of the reality of the country. We wish we have a consensus to make a new constitution, which is what the president has said. We have to do a public council, constitutional changes, but with popular consult. This is the president, former President Zelaya, who we're talking about. We don't have a commitment with anybody, but with the 1,700,000 people who voted for change. It is a time we set to work. What do we have to work on? In eliminating the secrecy law, in lower the prices of the basic products, in promoting laws that generate jobs. That's what we have to work on. We only made a lobby to get the votes, but we have no commitments. Each one of the offenses and the lies that have been said about these people and those who decided to support me and this Refoundation Party. So these slanders, we're going to shut them up with actions, because it is with actions that we respond to slander. So words are taken by the wind. Cristian Reyes, good afternoon. Pleasure to say hi to you. So with this agreement you have signed, we proved that you are opening the doors to a future nation of consensus. What happened to the Liberal Party of Honduras and to the National Party? As for Jorge Calix, lawyer, what is expected of you? Because since you're a very humble person and you can make it to the National Congress. Thank you. If God willing, if the universe of the creator of the universe wants it, that not leaves can move without his will. Today, 2:33, we have here the Liberal Party of Honduras. So we're waiting for them today in the afternoon. So they have announced a meeting with the Liberal Party of Honduras. We have session in the afternoon. So it's very important for the solution of this conflict, and they decided to meet with the president over here. And I'm sure we will have white smoke, as we popularly say. So this is the almost the conclusion of the press conference by Manuel Zelaya and Jorge Calix. So the impression is that there is no commitment, but we'll see at the end. So for the statement published by the National Party of Honduras, they said that the way to legitimize this agreement is to go back and vote again to elect the executive board. I'd like to ask former President Zelaya and Deputy Calix. So one of the laws approved was the amnesty law. Do you agree with all the points in this law? So we are hearing we're listening to the expression of Zelaya and Calix on the National Party statement. So historical friends of the National Party. So here with the Liberal Party, look at my hands. I participated in 8 elections with the Liberal Party. And out of the 8, we won 6. We won 6 elections. So the only ones we lost were the ones in Callejas and Ricardo Maduro, Joyce. Only 2. From 1980 to 2009. They come back because there was a coup d'etat in Honduras. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any chance. They are a minority party in Honduras. They divided the Liberal Party. They divided it, and they did a terrible damage to them. But of course, they had a collaboration from the Liberal Party. Now they're trying to divide free. Let them try. This is a call. They have no possibility of creating a crisis again. The people give them a rejection vote. They lost drastically these elections. And in that sense, the best is that we find common points. So we've had twice deputies in the Congress. And we've been there 8 years in the Congress. Solving all kinds of problems. So I think right now that we provided an example that it's worth more. It was worth more the formation of the Honduran deputies. They should make a constructive opposition to the government of the Freedom Party, to the President Castro, to make an opposition which should be constructive, but also smart. The Liberal Party, they got 44 deputies, which is a very good force in Honduras. The National Party got 44 deputies. This is a major force. We acknowledge. But if you're going to Congress with the intention of divided Libre, of creating problems to the executive board, I think the people will reject them again. And the people right now is with President Xiomara Castro. Will judge the behavior of each one of them. We're not the judge. It's the people that are looking at them, that have been seeing them working for 12 years, and they voted against, so that they submit to the winner and the will of the people expressed in the ballot boxes. President, the last question. So we're going to hear to the last question. about this subject. So we called to solve an internal problem of the Libre Party and concerning the legislative project. What is your role in the government of the President, Xiomara Castro? And in the case of having a role, are you going to get a salary? So we all want to know what's going on there. So that depends on the president, not of me. I'm only the coordinator of the party, and this is an agreement that is a bi-party agreement. So I am just doing what the president commands. So I assist and listen to many people from many sectors all over the country. So every time they tell me, President Melo, coordinator, help me with that. Yes, I'm going to help you, but help you with Xiomara, because she has not confirmed anything to me. So I'm going to ask your help and see if they're going to get salary. They're going to give me a salary, a position, a job. Help me. You have to help me because I'm still hanging on. What happens if tomorrow the president talks to me and says, Mel, thank you for your 46 years of service. Goodbye. So nobody knows. One last question for Jorge Calix. So a question by a colleague. Do you agree with the laws agreed by the National Congress led by Luis Redondo are still inactive? Do you agree that the law of the condemnation to the coup d'etat will still be active, considering that it didn't have the votes? Second question, what the Liberal and the National Party will ask of you and the deputies that supported you, what did they ask from you to be able to get into this negotiation with former President Zelaya? And according to the negotiations, you arrived with them. So I'm going to answer in a very straight way. They asked me the same. They asked me when I asked them 61 votes when I appointed the abogada Nucada, lawyer Oscar Rivera, in the National Electoral Council, in the National Record of People. The same thing. They asked the same thing when we reformed and created a new electoral law using the 61 votes of the National Party, in which we legalized the table control. So they went from being controlled by 14 parties to go and being controlled by 5 parties. And we as a party, we either had the presidency, the secretary, or we were scrutinizers. So when this was passed, many of you, probably those who were here, they said there was an agreement under the table. Many of you asked in private and in public, what did the National Party got in exchange so that they could appoint Risi, Eduardo Enrique? What did the National Party get to make the new electoral law? What did they get in return? What they committed to take away the control of the table to the National Party. Many even speculated. They negotiated this or that or the other thing. But in the end, time will put things in perspective and in the right place. So through the days, we have been able to see that we went to ask for the votes to appoint these colleagues, 61 deputies, and we didn't have to give absolutely nothing in return. We got a new electoral law, and we didn't have to give anything in return. We took the control of the table, and we didn't have to give anything in return. So these actions in which we could do, because we got 61 votes from the National Party, are the ones that allow us to win the elections of 2021. So this house, that is the house of the people, is truly the house of the people. And this is what it allowed Xiomara Castro to become the first female president in the history of Honduras. So time went by, and nobody can say we give something in return. We have offered nothing at all. We went asking for votes like we have asked for them in other occasions. We got them, but as I said before, this is not about what I want. It is about to put the country first. And precisely for that reason, me and the Honduran people have decided to step aside for the well of Honduras, for the peace of the republic, for the stability of the government, for the state of rights, to stop the uncertainty, and we have decided to step aside. Thank you very much. Well, this conference has concluded, and they keep asking questions. And so those who catalog you as traitors, many who requested political asylum somewhere else in other countries. So President Zelaya will answer. So even a biblical parable I told you to try to get out of this mess, because people don't believe in me, don't believe in what we signed on. I could also tell you the parable of the other, or maybe that would be Apocalypse, John 5:1, or the apostle who came with me when I came back here to the presidential house with Xiomara Castro. So here I am with Milton Medina and Apostle Santiago, and Xiomara was already here receiving Kamala Harris. So we are contributing to generate processes to find solutions to the great historical problems of this country. Dictatorship is still here. Dictatorship simply lost elections, but they keep managing great structures of power in the country. We will keep together, united, to rebuild democracy in Honduras, to go back to the constitutional order, to go back to the democratic order, and so that this state, they have become a state enemy of the people. This state to become a state of guarantees for the people. This is going to take a lot of months and a lot of work, and many of them we're going to work there in the National Congress, rebuilding laws that were adulterated and changed, making constitutional reforms to go back to the state of democracy, constitutional democracy, that guarantee the rights of the people. We need to go back to rebuild the social tissue. So we have two Honduras, the resistance Honduras and the coup Honduras. So now we have resistance in power. What is that we want? We're not going to be Juan Orlando Dur. We're going to be a female president, a presidency supporting Xiomara that rebuilds the human and citizens' rights, the human rights that the people need. So one of the program in the early morning shows, when she was asked, could you tell me in 20 seconds how did they leave the finance of the state? And she said, I heard her. Mucada, the lawyer Mucada said, they left a budget, a false budget, a liar budget, and a corrupt budget. A budget that only reflects the tragedy that this country lives in. A budget that doesn't tell the truth. The state is going to gather 130 millions. And they left a budget of 180 millions. And they asked the officials that would not be enthusiastic about those numbers they have given in the budgets. These budgets they left have no finance source. These are the ones they illegally approved for their administration. You know what the budget is? The budget is 180 millions. But there are 53 millions we have to ask the bank to be able to pay salaries and to all the three powers of the state, their expenses. That's how they leave this budget. This is the budget with the vision of the National Party. Dictatorship. They want to turn the state in a source of income, not for the great majority of the country, but those who have the state as a profit project, a project of wealth accumulation. I see this clearly. And I say something else. I asked the representatives of all sectors, I'm going to call them, on behalf of this presidency of Xiomara Castro, to show them what we're receiving. We're receiving a dead, a body, a corpse, a broken state, and a economy in crisis. A government that is in bankruptcy. There is a country that can be recovered. There is a hope. There is a people hopeful and willing to find solutions. So there is a great effort and we have to make. And this is the arrival of a woman with willingness, with social sensitivity to the Honduran people. And this is the Honduran people that is full of hope, with this burden that is the tragedy of the Honduran people. We are here in a way or another. One way or another, you all have jobs here. But there are many, thousands of young people who have no access to health or education. Millions of kids and women who have no access, who are sick, who have no access to social benefits. And that's how the Free Party was born. And this is what this agreement is about. We're just working for the desire of the people to achieve unity and the transformation of Honduras that is so demanded by our people. Out dictatorships, come democracies. So this is a press conference. Additional treason. That's what they're saying.